Hey guys, it's Grizzly Goat here, and with the release of the new consoles, there are of course going to be new features. I myself was fortunate enough to obtain a PS5 recently, so when I was messing around, looking for new stuff that you could do, there was one particular feature that caught my eye. If you've played on a PS4 before, you know of the SharePlay feature. It is a very cool feature that you can use to watch somebody play a game, or actually play on the game, as if you're right next to them, and they just handed you the controller. However though, with the new PS5, they took this feature and ramped it up a notch, introducing the share screen feature. Now, at first, it may look like as if there's nothing new in comparison to the PS4 version, but with taking a deeper look, there is a massive difference. On the PS4, you could only have the SharePlay open. However, with the PS5, you can use this feature and play on your own while using it. Now, to actually use this function, your friend does have to be in a party with you and has to turn the share screen feature on, which is a pretty much identical process to the PS4's version. But it is, of course, much faster. Now, when you load up the share screen, you are given two options on how you'd like to set this up. You can choose the pin to the side option, which stays off your game screen by minimizing it and moving the share screen window to the side, which is a viable option, but I think the best option would likely be picture-in-picture. It does unfortunately cover a small part of your game screen, but you can move this window wherever you want. I preferably would keep this in the top left or right corners of the screen. You can also adjust the audio of the shared screen, which I highly recommend being 0, in order to not overlap over your own audio and confuse you. Although there is a slight delay, it is practically identical to mic delay, and there is ways to reduce the delay as much as possible, and I'll make sure to go over that towards the end of the video. Okay, so now with the basics out of the way, let's actually talk about how this feature can be useful. I'll play some gameplay I recorded, in which I had to record using remote play. And even with 2 Ethernet connections to my computer and console, there was a fair amount of input lag. So with that and the addition that I've been playing Rainbow as much in the past month and a half, is exactly the reason why the gameplay will be rather painful to watch, to say the very least. Now, some useful applications of this feature include an addition of more intel at your fingertips, which can be applied in many ways. If you consistently play with a squad, you know that somebody in your squad would be referred to as the weakest link, so to speak. And being able to monitor them like a baby camera would not only be beneficial to your team's success on making sure that they aren't lost or doing the wrong thing, but it would also be beneficial to their own growth as a player, to make sure that they're on the right track and make themselves more aware of things that they should be doing. There are times that I play with someone that doesn't play Rainbow often, which results in them being in the wrong place towards the end of the round, or just being unsure of what to do and just aren't good communicators. Speaking of communication, this feature can help bridge the gap for players who don't use or have a mic and for players who haven't thoroughly learned callouts yet. Now, obviously the recent Ping 2.0 system is an amazing system, which including the factor of camera soft pings makes it incredibly powerful, but there can be those situations where this feature can be useful. In fact, I scripted a situation to show it. Now, it has been a while not only since we have played the game on a regular basis, but also recorded these situations. So just like me and my gameplay, my actors may also be incredibly rusty, but let's hit play. So in that situation, my teammate was running across the hallway into sight, without knowing that Yana was in the hall on his left side. He tried to get some retaliation shots off, but was unable to frag her or get a ping off her location. Thanks to my coincidental position and extra eye of intel, I was quickly able to take action to nitrocell the Yana from below. Now, you may say that this could have been exactly replicated with just a callout, and that is 100% absolutely correct. However, a majority of the player base does not know the callouts to every spot in every map. Now, if he said VIP Hall Planter, I would know exactly where he is and be able to replicate the same outcome. But if he wasn't behind the planter and was somewhere else in the hallway, that is where it might get a bit tricky to pinpoint an exact callout and replicate the same outcome. There is one more type of small, but realistic situation that this feature could show its use. We have all been in a situation where you have to tell a teammate to place something in a specific spot somewhere, which, if requires exact precision, will also require you to be there to watch them to make sure they actually get it right. Whether that be Habana pellet placement on a garage door, Maverick hole placement on a site wall, or confirming Velcam locations for optimal positioning. Having this little window in the corner of your screen can not only save you time from not having to travel to your teammate, but it also will either save precious seconds for your attack or prepare your defense faster in the event of a rush. Now, this would be the fourth and definitely biggest benefit from using share screen, but due to Ping 2.0's recent addition, which included soft pings for cameras, it is off the list. If you have been playing Rainbow recently, you know just how powerful soft pings on cameras are. The addition of 0 pushed this power tenfold. I honestly don't know why Ubisoft hasn't removed this feature from the game. There are still ways for you to be able to mark gadgets on cameras without having the free pinging ability, but that's just my opinion. If Ubisoft does decide to revert this ability, then the share screen feature would nearly fill its spot, but that's only if they ever remove it. So now that we talked about the different ways you can utilize the share screen feature, let's go over the pros and cons of it. Starting off with the good. The share screen feature is extremely useful if you're mentoring or simply playing with lower skilled players. The ability to monitor them can make everyone's life easier on your team and then help improve them as Rainbow Six players, as you give them direct guidance and help. Another great benefit is the added intel ability. Being able to independently react without the supplementary information of others can help you react quicker and aid you in victory. This also helps for those groups of friends who have communication issues, whether that be through skill or logistical means. If you have a friend that recently broke their mic and hasn't bought a new one yet, you can still play Rainbow with ample intel, combined from their pings and screen. More of a cool little bonus than a pro is that you can quickly shuffle through different players' share screens at once, if your situation requires you to do so. So let's just say you want to watch somebody play Apex instead of your teammate. Just kidding, because who the hell plays Apex in 2021? It should take you approximately 7 seconds to reverse this unforgivable mistake. All jokes aside though, you can cycle through different teammates' points of view quickly, just as long as their share screen is active. Okay, now let's talk about the cons that using this system can carry. One of the first notable things is that when using this feature, no matter if using pin to side or picture-in-picture modes, it will alter your visibility compared to when normally playing. Pin to side will shrink your game screen to make everything a little bit harder to see, and picture-in-picture mode will flat out block part of it. As of right now, you cannot adjust the size or opacity of these windows. If you could drop the opacity of the picture-in-picture mode to make it more transparent so you don't have this blind spot, it would in reality make this downside not exist. But as the way it is right now, this is definitely something to consider. Another downside is the delay in connection strain that you will get when actively using share screen. Although there is a noticeable but small delay in my gameplay, I have an Ethernet connection to my PS5, with over 100 download and 10 upload, while my friend has about 300 download and roughly 30 upload, also with an Ethernet connection to his PS5. For the majority of people playing this game on console, they may not have this luxury. A lot of console players still use Wi-Fi connections, and might not even have 10 download speed, rendering the ability to use share screen useless, since it would not only be massively delaying, but also cutting in and out as well. If you do have a good connection though, you do not have to worry about this, because the small visual delay is a little bit faster than your teammate saying a call out, in addition to a few milliseconds of mic delay. But there is a major trade-off with this, and this leads me to my next con, which is a bit of sensory overload. Having to watch 2 separate screens rather than just one can be a bit difficult to juggle, especially while trying to stay on your toes and playing this game. You could argue that games like Battlefield and Call of Duty have mini-maps, which do require you to look away from what's in front of you, but there's a difference between a mini-map and someone else's screen. Well, that being it's literally someone else's screen. When playing like this, you not only have to dissect information on your own screen, but also on your teammate's screen. Having great callouts will likely always be preferred than having 2 screens. And this leads me to my final point. If you are an experienced player, such as a diamond or above, you will almost never need this. If you play with a squad that all have a great understanding of map dynamics and callouts with go-to routes of strategy, having the share screen open will likely hurt you more than it will help you. So, what do I think is the final verdict on using this feature for Rainbow? Well, I'll let you decide. I plan on experimenting with this feature to see if it aids our experience and helps us win more rounds and maybe even games. So I highly recommend that you try this feature and see how you like it for yourself. But other than that, what do you guys think about what I said in this video? Do you think that this feature is too powerful, or is there just nothing to worry about? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. With all that being said, I hope all of you finish out this year strong, and until next time, Grizzly Goat out.